I only came home to grab a charger, but found 102 people screaming congratulations in my backyard. A banner read, he asked. She said yes. When I asked what was happening, Mom smiled. It's your brother. He's engaged to Alyssa, my ex. And then she added, we took a $17,000 loan in your name. Consider it a gift. I just said nothing. Frozone, then opened my phone, clicked twice, and said 5 words. In 12 minutes, one file reached 102 people. I told you he'd ruin it. He's always had that jealous look in his eyes. My mother muttered, not even trying to whisper. I was still standing there, front door barely closed behind me, keys in my hand, backpack slung over one shoulder, staring into my childhood backyard now covered with streamers, rented white chairs, a massive tent, and over 100 people clapping at me. Or so I thought, until I turned and saw the banner. He asked. She said yes. And underneath it, my brother Mark, down on one knee in a photo, printed 10 feet wide, holding a ring in front of Alyssa, my ex. My actual ex. Not high school crush, not casual date, real, lived together for 2 years, thought we'd get married, ugly breakup type of ex. My mouth went dry. The cheap Bluetooth charger I'd driven 25 minutes to pick up suddenly felt like a joke. Like I'd walked onto a stage in a dream, naked and confused. Then Mom appeared beside me. She was smiling, beaming, her voice warm, fake as ever. It's your brother, he's engaged to Alyssa. She said it like I was supposed to cheer, like this was something we'd all laugh about someday. I just stared at her. She leaned closer, voice lower, more intimate, as if offering a gift. Oh, and we took a $17,000 loan in your name to cover the engagement party. Consider it our gift to them. From you? I didn't respond. I couldn't. Something behind my ribs cracked, not audibly, but I felt it. Like some part of me that had bent too far for too long had finally given out. People were still cheering. Someone released confetti. A woman I didn't recognize was taking selfies with Alyssa. Mark was laughing. Alyssa saw me and looked away. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even walk forward. I just stood still. Then I reached into my pocket, unlocked my phone, tapped twice, and said 5 words. Check your phones right now. 12 minutes later, every single one of the 102 guests had received a file. By minute 15, the backyard was silent, and that was only the beginning of the silence. I didn't even stay to watch the fireworks. I walked past the catering trays, the champagne tower, the slideshow of their love story playing on a projector near the tool shed. I walked through the crowd as people started checking their phones. First confused, then disturbed. I didn't run. I didn't need to. I had done my part. Now it was their turn to flinch. The file I sent, a PDF titled simply, How I Lost a Fiancé and $17,000, a Cautionary Tale. Inside, screenshots, messages between Mark and Alyssa. From while we were still dating, Venmo receipts, a spreadsheet of party costs billed under my name, the loan paperwork, even a voice memo. Alyssa saying he'll never find out. He's too busy being useful. Useful? That's what I'd been for this family. A function? A tool, not a person. You want the whole story? Fine. Here's how we got here. I was the oldest, the fixer, the go-to guy. When the water heater exploded in Mom's house, I paid. When Mark crashed his car, sophomore year, I signed the loan for his new one. When Dad's business tanked, I floated them $6,000 until next month. That month never came. I never said no. They took that as consent. Mom would smile sweetly and say things like, you know how much this means to us, like I was part of their WS. Dad would grunt and mumble something like, you're the only one who understands responsibility. And Mark, he didn't even thank me. He'd slap my back and say, you got me, bro. Right. Stvant. The tipping point started 4 months ago. I just moved into a new apartment. First place that was truly mine. Clean walls, real furniture, plants I hadn't killed yet. I invited the family over for dinner. Nothing fancy, just pasta and red wine. Only Mom showed up late, sat for 10 minutes, barely touched her plate, then asked if I could co-sign something real quick. A $12,000 personal loan. Nothing big, she said. For Mark's business, she said. She slid the papers across my counter like it was a birthday card. I didn't sign. I told her I'd think about it. That was my first mistake. That gave her hope. A week later, I noticed a credit inquiry on my report, then another. Then the loan appeared. Approved in my name. I confronted her on the phone. Why would you do this without asking? Her voice changed in a second from soft guilt to sharpness. You said you were thinking about it. That means, yes, we needed it. Mark's future depends on this. You'll be fine. You make good money. That's when it clicked. They didn't see it as theft. They saw it as redistribution. I stopped answering other calls after that. Started digging, requested my full credit file. That's when I found the second loan. $17,000 for event planning services. The payment memo said it all. Engagement celebration, property backyard. I thought I was going to vomit. I hadn't spoken to Alyssa in over a year. We'd ended quietly. She said she needed space, that she wasn't ready, that it wasn't me, it was timing. Turns out it was me. Or more accurately, it was Mark. I don't know how it started. I don't care. What mattered was the date stamps in those messages. She texted him the day after she left our apartment. Called him baby a week later. She never even blocked me. She just moved on like I was a couch she didn't want anymore. And they all knew. The text made it clear. Dad had offered to help Mark buy the ring. Mom had invited Alyssa to Sunday dinners. My whole family had wrapped my ex in open arms while I was still blaming myself for not being enough. And worst of all, they were proud of it. The Facebook post came next. 2 weeks before the party, a private album labeled Big Day Soon. I wasn't tagged. I wasn't even blocked. I was just forgotten. Photos of my brother's hand holding a ring box. Alyssa giggling on the patio. My mother in the background with a clipboard and that smirk she only saves for holidays and betrayals. The caption, when you know, you know. She's the perfect match for our Mark. I hadn't spoken to any of them in weeks, but I knew what I had to do. I froze the loans. Took 2 days and a lawyer friend, but I filed the fraud reports, sent the emails, collected every receipt I could find. Then I opened a folder I hadn't looked at in months. AliceChat_backup.zip. I'd saved our iCloud backup after we split. Not because I was bitter, because I'm thorough. Inside voice notes, photos, location data, even her journal entries typed in Google Docs under her own name. She wrote, he's sweet but dull, too safe. Mark has fire. Mark makes me feel dangerous again. She wrote that while she was still using my Netflix. That line made the file. The day of the party, I parked 3 blocks away. I didn't even dress up, just jeans and a hoodie. I walked around back like I belonged, because for years I did. They didn't notice me at first. Everyone was too busy raising glasses. There was a Mark plus Alyssa cake, monogram napkins, a photo booth. Then someone spotted me. Oh my God, you made it! That's when I saw the banner. The crowd, my brother on a stage with a microphone, and Alyssa wearing my mother's pearls. I stood still. Then Mom spotted me and said the line that lit the fuse. We took a $17,000 loan in your name. Consider it a gift. Gift? She said it like I was Santa Claus. So I clicked the file. It sent and everything fell apart fast. The aftermath was instant. Alyssa's boss was there. She left before the second page of the PDF finished loading. 3 of Mark's friends started arguing with him on the lawn. And Cheryl tried to pretend she didn't see anything. Dad came storming after me as I walked out the side gate. You think this little stunt will undo what they have? You think you're going to ruin their happiness? I didn't answer. I just turned my head slightly and said, you shouldn't have signed my name. He grabbed my arm. I pulled out my phone. If you touch me again, I'll be forced to call the authorities. He froze. Good. That night, the group chat exploded. Dad, you need to fix this before it gets out. Mom, how could you do this to your own brother? Mark, come talk to me. Be a man about it. Alyssa blocked me. I let them boil. Then I dropped the final spark. I uploaded the folder to a cloud link. Set the permissions to public. Caption it. Just so everyone's clear, this is how my family celebrates love, theft, lies, and someone else's ex and joy. 3 days after the backyard ambush, I got a text from my mother. Just us. No drama. We just want to talk. She suggested dinner at their house. Keep it civil. Your father made steak. Mark will be there. Alyssa, too. You owe them at least that. I didn't owe them anything, but I said yes. Not because I wanted to talk, because I wanted to end it. I showed up 10 minutes early. The house looked the same fake piece. Warm lights in the windows, the hum of music, laughter, like the last 3 days hadn't happened. Alyssa opened the door. She didn't say anything. Her mascara was smudged, her smile forced. She stepped aside without a word. The dining table was set for 6. Mom brought out plates like this was Thanksgiving. Dad poured himself wine. Mark sat at the end, arms crossed, jaw clenched. Can we all just... Mom started, then exhaled. Can we just talk? No one spoke. So she kept going. This is all a misunderstanding. The loan. We thought you said yes. And the Alyssa thing? Look, relationships are messy. You were over. It just happened. It didn't just happen, I said flatly. Her lips twitched. We wanted to do something nice for Mark, for the family. We weren't trying to hurt you. I nodded slowly, then reached into my bag and pulled out the folder. It wasn't thick, but every page was a punch. I laid it in the center of the table. What's that? Dad asked, already annoyed. Truth? I said. I slid the top sheet toward them. A loan contract. My name on the front. My signature line blank. The one they forged. Next bank correspondence. Email chains confirming the engagement party invoice with Mom listed as event coordinator and Mark as payer on behalf of Alex. Third, a screenshot from Alyssa's Instagram DMs. To Mark, he's still paying off your car. You better pop the question soon before he grows a spine. Mom palled. Mark reached for the page and read it in silence, then tossed it back like it burned. That's private, Alyssa muttered. No, I said. It's theft. It's deceit. It's all of you using my name, my money, my trust. Okay, Dad growled. So what, you want revenge? You want to humiliate us in front of everyone? You did that already? No, I said. I want accountability. And then I dropped the photo. It was a security cam still from a bank branch. Dad at the counter submitting paperwork with my SSN. The timestamp matched the loan date. The form bore my forged signature. His face twisted. You've been spying on us now. I've been protecting myself, I replied. Something you taught me never to expect from family. Then came the final blow. I pulled out the letter stamped from the credit bureau. A notice due to suspected identity fraud. My father's access to all major credit institutions had been frozen. His score now flagged. His ability to co-sign anything gone. I placed it in front of him without a word. He didn't read it. Just stared at me, eyes boiling. You think this fixes anything? He spat. You don't fix this. That's enough. A voice cut in. We all turned. A new figure stood in the doorway. Tall, lean, familiar. Alyssa's ex-boyfriend, Evan. He walked in, cool as ice, holding his own little folder. Hope I'm not crashing anything. Just thought it was time someone else spoke. Mark rose like he was ready to fight. Alyssa whispered, Evan, get out! He ignored them. Just so we're clear, he said, opening the folder. Alyssa was still living with me when she started texting him. And texting you? He nodded at me, about needing space. He placed printouts on the table. Messages time-stamped side by side. Same day, different guys, same lies. She played us both, he said. But I moved on. I don't need revenge. I just need closure. He turned to me. She told me your family would cover everything. Because you always do. That you were trained to say yes. Her words. Then he left. The silence after he walked out was unbearable. Even the knives looked ashamed. Mom tried one last time. Honey, we can get past this. We just have to... No, I said. I stood. I'm not part of this anymore. Not the guilt. Not the debt. Not the lies. Mark stood too. So that's it. You're walking away over a girl. I looked at him. You mean my ex, who you proposed to using money stolen in my name? He said nothing. I leaned forward. You deserve each other. You all do. Then I walked toward the door. Dad stood. Don't you dare turn your back on this family. I turned. I didn't, I said. You turned yours. I just finally noticed. I walked out, and this time, no one followed. I walked into the kitchen of my apartment, quiet, clean, untouched by anyone else's mess, and deleted every single voicemail from the night before. 36 missed calls, 12 texts, all variations of the same play. Talk to us. You're still our son. We didn't mean to hurt you. And then the final one from Mark. She's gone. I hope you're happy. I didn't reply. I made coffee. Black, no sugar. Bitter enough to match the mood. That day, I didn't go to work. I went to the bank. The account my parents had been using, siphoning from quietly through link transfers, was closed. I started a brand new one under a new entity. Not just for security, for symbolism. That evening, I called my lawyer friend again. You remember that trust my grandfather mentioned? Yeah. I want out of it. You sure? I'm not here to inherit anything. I'm here to detach. He understood. The next week, all ties were severed. No more shared credit. No co-signed anything. No legal liabilities. My financial fingerprints were wiped from every system they had access to. I didn't tell them. They'd find out when the next emergency came. I changed gyms, changed grocery stores, canceled every subscription I'd once shared with any of them. Netflix gone. Spotify deleted. Even my Amazon Prime account, the one I knew they still use for family orders, was shut down. Then I did the final thing. I moved. Not far. Just enough. I've been eyeing a place uptown for over a year. A top floor corner loft. Exposed brick. Full light. Key code access. Underground parking. I signed the lease the same day I got the text from Mark. She's gone. Good! Let them handle whatever came next. I was already gone. 3 days after the move, someone knocked on my old apartment door. It was Dad. My old neighbor called me. There's a guy here pounding the door like it owes him money. I never responded. 2 days later, it was Mom. She left a note on the old welcome mat. Just one sentence. Please don't do this. I didn't. They already had. I spent the next month rebuilding everything in silence. I finally took the trip I've been postponing for 3 years. No Instagram stories. No updates. Just me. A cabin in the mountains and a book I never finished. And when I got back, 2 emails were waiting for me. One from a private investigator I'd quietly hired. The other from my grandfather's lawyer. The first was simple. Dad had tried to apply for another small business loan. Rejected. Flagged for fraud. The second was better. The trust was restructured. My portion was no longer accessible by any other family member. The clause that allowed shared access in times of emergency gone. It wasn't revenge. It was insurance. Weeks passed. I didn't hear from them. But then Megan, Alyssa's older sister, found me. She showed up at the building lobby. I'm not here to fight, she said. I just want to tell you something. I hesitated, but let her in. We sat on the small sofa by the elevators. I didn't offer her water. She didn't expect any. She looked down at her phone, then at me. She left the state. Alyssa moved back with her mom in Ohio. I didn't ask why. Why? She blamed you? Megan continued. But I know better. I know what she did. What they did. I still said nothing. Then Megan said something that made me pause. She said she thought you'd never fight back. That you were too passive. Too desperate to be loved. I nodded. She was right, I said until I wasn't. The next day I walked into a notary's office. Signed over the old family car I still technically owned. The one Mark drove. I donated it to a veteran charity. They picked it up the same afternoon. I didn't tell him. I figured he'd notice when the car was gone. Maybe that's when reflection starts. And when Mom tried to re-access the family health insurance portal, surprise, I wasn't the listed sponsor anymore. They need to figure it out themselves now. Every quiet click of disconnection was a brick back into place. I wasn't loud, but I was permanent. It didn't end with screaming. It ended with silence. They faded from my life in slow motion. Still calling, still pleading, still pretending. I was just being dramatic. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was free. I never went back. Not for holidays, not for funerals, not even when Aunt Rachel sent a message that things have calmed down. There's a difference between letting go and giving permission to come back. I wasn't doing either. I deleted every photo that had their faces, blocked every cousin who sent me just checking in texts. The kind of check-ins that only come after rumors. No more. Maybe one day. No more. But there's still family. No more guilt in a glass jar. Some people think revenge is a loud thing. A scream. A fire. A wrecking ball. But sometimes it's quieter. Colder. More permanent. Like walking past the bakery your dad loved and not flinching. Like seeing your brother's name on a missed call and not even bothering to delete it. Like remembering how your mom said we're still your parents and realizing that biology is not a currency. 2 months after I vanished, I got a letter. A real one. Envelope. Stamp from my childhood dentist's office. Your appointment has been canceled. Your family removed you from the insurance plan. I laughed. It was the last thing they could take from me. So I made an appointment myself. New provider. New address. New everything. When the receptionist asked if I wanted to list an emergency contact, I said no. Then I thought for a second. Actually list this. I gave her the name of my lawyer. 6 weeks later, I opened my garage and smiled. There it was. The custom steel sign I'd ordered. Black matte. Minimalist. Engraved in bold white text. Do not knock. Family no longer resides here. I bolted it next to the front door. Not because I thought they'd show up again, but just in case they forgot who I am now. I'm not the emergency contact. I'm not the safety net. I'm not the charger they forgot until the battery died. I'm not the fool who makes other people's dreams affordable. I'm the ghost of every boundary they broke, now rebuilt with steel and stone. And the next time they think about using my name, they better ask a banker first.